Good evening. Welcome to the Super Saturday debate. I'm Zaka Jacob. It's a red-letter day today in the history of India's telecom services. India has now officially moved into 5G territory. By Diwali, most major telecom players are promising to roll out 5G in major cities across India. From being a late entrant into the telecom race, India is now at the forefront of the technological advances that are happening in the telecom sector. Is this going to be 5G? A game changer for India, and how will this benefit ultimately the last man or woman standing in the queue?
The wait is finally over. India is all set to experience the 5G internet services. Nearly 5 years after India embarked on the road to launching the next generation of mobile telephony, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the 5G services in New Delhi. The launch took place during the 4 days inauguration of India's biggest technology festival, India Mobile Congress 2022. Just before the launch, Prime Minister Modi was given a demo of the technology by Chairman of Reliance Jio, Akash Ambani. Prime Minister Modi also inspected various stalls of IMC 2022 exhibition, where he tested Qualcomm new vehicle, which can be remotely controlled in mines and war fields.
21वीं सदी की जो सबसे बड़ी शक्ति है, उस शक्ति को नई ऊंचाई पर ले जाने का आज भी आरंभ हो रहा है। 5G अवसरों के अनंत आकाश की शुरुआत है।
The first phase of 5G is being launched in 13 cities. Full 5G coverage across the country will be completed by 2024. Reliance Jio, who was the top spender at this year's 5G spectrum auctions, launched the 5G services in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata.
Indian telecom industry, what we have demonstrated, I feel very proud. And to both COAI and DOT, I can say that we are now ready to take leadership, and the Indian Mobile Congress should now become the Asian Mobile Congress and the Global Mobile Congress.
Reliance Jio also plans to take the 5G services pan-India by December 2023.
जियो का पूरा प्लान होएगा कि दिसंबर तक पूरा इंडिया कवर हो जाएगा। भाग इंडिया में अपन देखेंगे कि 5G के अनुसार बहुत सारे नए एप्लीकेशंस आएंगे।
India plans to emerge as the lead in 5G technology space. In July, the Government of India auctioned 51,236 MHz of 5G airwaves and garnered a gross revenue of Rs 1,50,173 crores. The government believes that today's day would be marked in the history of telecom in golden letters.
The biggest impact that we will see because of 5G will be in the education sector and the healthcare sector. New services and new models of taking these services to the people will be developed.
5G technology is expected to offer much faster speed than 4G for mobile communication and data transmission. It is believed that 5G rollout will also accelerate adoption of virtual reality technology and Internet of Things. Bureau Report, CNN News 18.
All right, so here's what India's 5G plan will look like as far as major telecom service providers are concerned. Let's talk about Reliance Jio. It's going to be launched in the 4 metro cities, that's Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, in October of 2022 itself. By Diwali, in these 4 major metros, 5G services will be rolled out by Jio. The nationwide rollout from village to village across the length and breadth of this country will happen by December of 2023. Bharti Airtel will be launching in 8 cities in October of 2022. All urban areas will be covered by December of next year. Towns and key rural areas will be covered by March of 2024. So, let me now open this up to our guests who are joining us. This is a critical moment in the telecom services history of India. Tom Varakan, BJP spokesperson, joining us. Arvind Bali is CEO of Telecom Sector Skill Council. Anku Jain is Managing Director of MediaTek India. And Amit Marva is Head of Marketing and Corporate Affairs at Nokia India. Tom, let me start with you. There was a time when India was not a fast mover as far as telecom technology was concerned. There was also a time when, auctions were mired in corruption, charges, back and forth. But the way the 5G auction has happened and the limited time period in which the auction concluded and now the rollout of 5G services, it's incredible how much things have changed.
Zakha, the winds of change have caught up with India. And I think this is a historic occasion, probably a game changer. Today, Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji inaugurated the Congress and he said what he said. But let me tell you something, Zakha. The average spent on a average spend of 14 GB cost 4,200 earlier. Now it costs 125 to 50. It's come down to the level which I don't think you can blame inflation or anything. This has come down to a level which every common man has a mobile.
Yeah.
A fisherman in the sea, you have a problem with the floods. The communication is going to change. It is going to be a situation where I don't know where all robotic operations, telemedicine. This is split second speed that you're getting. And I think this is going to be a game changer for India. And I think this could only have been possible under the leadership of our dear Prime Minister, Mr. Modi.
I want to ask Arvind Bali. Everybody says, and Tom also, you heard him a moment ago saying that this is a game changer. But please break this down for our viewers, Mr. Bali. What do you mean by a game changer? How is this going to improve the life of the common man or woman who is last of line? How will 5G make his or her life better? What will change? Give us the nuts and bolts.
So it is going to bring the gap between India and Bharat much lesser. Actually, most of the people, they migrate from small cities, small places to big towns. Besides job opportunity, I think there's another thing which is good education, good health, good entertainment, all that stuff. Now, 5G is an enabler which is going to take education, latest and the best education to real rural places. Health through telemedicine will become very, very strong. And same way, entertainment, through OTT platform, it will be available for all. So all these things, when we see together, it is going to be a game changer for overall system.
Okay, let me ask Anku Jain. One of the concerns of the industry, and this has been for a while now, is that India, of course, is the cheapest market for telecom services anywhere in the world, both for voice and for data. And while that's great for the consumers, and let's face it, India is still a developing country, it's still a poor country, people are not going to pay a hell of a lot of money for voice and for data services. How much will 5G and the rollout of 5G, how much more pressure will that put on telecom companies and the cheap rates at which they're able to afford and sell to the Indian public?
Okay, first of all, let me start by congratulating all the people of India. I think today is a momentous occasion. We have finally got the 5G services launched in the country. That's really great news and very exciting times ahead. For your question, I think, ARPU is one point of view, one aspect of monetizing 5G.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I think 5G would unleash a slew of innovation going forward. And I think the overall solutions which are going to be created around 5G will also create a lot of monetization aspect from there. And what I feel is, 5G will be give another push to the startup ecosystem. I think we have in the last few years we have seen over 100 unicorns which have come up, and really we are very proud of that. And I think 5G will create another innovation push, and that will create more monetization capabilities for this technology. And I think, as mentioned by the previous speaker, we have so many different use cases like healthcare and e-commerce and education and so on. I think the possibilities are really immense.
Amit Marwa, once 5G rolls out, and hopefully in the big cities, at least by the end of October, by Diwali, we'll have 5G rolled out by major telecom service providers. I want to know, how do people access this? Do you need a 5G enabled phone? Do you need a SIM card that is 5G enabled? Would that mean that you have to go to a physical store and change your SIM card? How is that going to work?
Yes, Aka, you are absolutely right. As 5G services come into India, you will need a 5G enabled phone. But the positive side of that is that in India today, with the 800 million smartphones that are there, almost 10% are already 5G ready. So there is a ready ecosystem which will enable 5G in the beginning. And yes, you will have to go and upgrade to a 5G SIM. And now there is an option of an eSIM that you can take in order to take the advantage of 5G services.
Tom Varakan, the criticism, if I may say so, is that 5G is great. You can roll it out, and it's already been rolled out by Diwali. Like I said, most urban centers will have. But a large part of India cannot afford 5G-enabled phones. I mean, these are smartphones. They're above 10,000, 15, maybe even 20,000 rupees. A large part of India cannot afford that. How are you going to respond to that?
Well, the initial information that we have is about 1,75,000 villages are now provided with optical fiber, while around 5,60,000 have 4G connectivity. Now, as to the cost of the instrument, when production increases and demand supply increases, prices are bound to be competitive. And I think it is essential that the telecom companies, especially those manufacturing sector, would go in for versions which are people-friendly, pocket-friendly, and I think that phenomenon is going to happen, because if the cost effectiveness doesn't take place, this is basically market forces. And believe me, Zaka, if we can bring down the prices of the network costs that have been there, we certainly have control of the prices of smartphones to be controlled. Because in a competitive market, if your product doesn't sell, then you are in a problem. So you will have to have a product which is people-friendly and pocket-friendly.
No, so Arvind Bali, one of the interesting things is very recently the government had sort of banned handsets that were, I think, below 12,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees, banned Chinese makers of those handsets. So do you believe that if 5G were to roll out and if you were to make affordable handsets for people of India, then this is also a great opportunity for Indian manufacturing, phone companies, Indian manufacturers to step up to the game, to step up to the plate and say, we will manufacture 5G-enabled phones which are 10,000 rupees or 12,000 rupees, thereby catering to the mass market?
Yeah, actually, I feel that this is the greatest opportunity for Indian handset manufacturers. Rather, PLI scheme, a lot of Indian companies already applied for it. And I personally feel that getting a phone less than 10,000 rupees, 5G, I think it is a matter of just maybe few months. You should have, you'll be seeing very near future good quality phone which are operating on 5G, good memory, good cases will be coming to the market. Now, Indian manufacturers are again very active. The Prime Minister also mentioned that, like from a country which was importing maximum number of handsets, we have now become an exporting country. We are the second largest producer of phone now. We have heard about Apple 14, iPhone 14, that is being manufactured here.
Correct.
So I think manufacturing in India is going to catch up like anything. In this IMC exhibition, I have met so many manufacturers who are actually working on real component level manufacturing. Like that is a beauty. And the Indian manufacturing of electronics, which was thought as a far-fetched dream, has actually come true now.
All right. I want to ask Anku Jain, one of the things that we saw, during the pandemic is that there was this very real digital divide. There was, particularly in the field of education, for example, there were students who could afford online classes with the equipment required, and there was a large section of students who could not afford that. Will 5G breach that technology gap, particularly amongst our young people?
I think 5G, the best thing that it provides is that last mile connectivity. So we have a lot of rural areas where the fiber could not reach yet, but 5G technology can actually give access to high bandwidth for those people. So from connectivity point of view, it does help the rural areas and for education to reach them. So that's definitely something that we are looking forward to. Something like, for example, fixed wireless access is something which can be provided to all parts of the country. And as we saw, heard today in IMC, by next year, the whole of the country will be connected to 5G. So that really helps for for the whole population of India to be connected. At least they get the opportunity to get connected. So which is not available so far. So that way, I think even things like education, health, etc., will get a lot of benefit.
All right, Amit Marva, I'll give you the final word. Are Indian telecom service providers ready to roll 5G out by the end of this month, at least in the big urban cities of the country? And of course, take it to every remote corner of this country by December of next year. And are manufacturers like yourself ready to make high-tech 5G-enabled phones which are also affordable?
So the answer to both is yes. We are ready to manufacture not 5G phones, but 5G equipment, which is going to be manufactured in India, which will set up networks in order to make 5G work. And the operators are definitely gearing up very, very quickly. Of course, people will have to be a little patient because you can't do magic in a month or a couple of months. But all I can say is I would encourage people to come and see the India Mobile Congress. The last day, which is Tuesday, is open for public to just see the possibilities that 5G can enable in order to change lives of people for the better and enable the economy of the future. So it's a great opportunity. What is demonstrated in the India Mobile Congress this time is unique and is something which is unprecedented for people to witness. I think it's everybody is working extremely hard in the next few months to make 5G happen and take the benefit of 5G.
Tom, I'll give you the final word, less than a minute. The reason why countries like the United States and other countries in Western Europe did so well over the last 200-300 years is because of the Industrial Revolution. And that seems the case with China over the last 40 years or so. India, of course, we still need great amounts of physical infrastructure. There's a long way to go. But one area where India could really make it a level playing field, maybe even race ahead of the Western countries, is digital infrastructure. You think we're ready for it?
We are ready, and I think the leadership is extremely buoyant about it, and we have the technology to move forward. And believe me, Zaka, it's going to be, when I said game changer, I mean every word and alphabet of it. Because essentially, this is going to be a situation where India is going to lead the Western world. And this is going to happen right in our time and in our history.
Okay, thanks very much, Tom Varakan, Ankur Jain, Amit Marva, and of course, Arvind Bali. Thank you very much for speaking with us. It is indeed one of those rare moments where all of us as Indians can take pride in, because we are now really breaking new ground as far as telecom is concerned. And we're really hoping that our telecom service providers match up to that game and completely change the rules of the game in a way that India leads the world in 5G technology. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have some important breaking news coming in from across the border in Pakistan. That development right on the other side of the script.